What's up guys, Steel Frodo here, and we are back. Oh my gosh, I'm really glad that we've actually finally started doing this series again, but it is Q&A Saturday, so this is where you ask me questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. It's a Q&A, it's in the title. I'm gonna roll the intro now. Alright, so our first question this week comes from Hannah Rosasco, sorry if I butchered your name. When did you start playing drums, and what made you want to learn how to play drums? I had actually started playing guitar first, and I had played guitar for about two or 3 years, and I never really got into it, and I don't know why. It just never stuck with me. Now, recently, I've been starting to get back into that, but what ended up happening was I started the band we had in high school. I went to a private school, and we didn't really have a music program, and a couple guys that I knew were really getting into playing music, and I had kind of always had this thing where I liked kind of just listening to music and tapping my feet and tapping my hands around. I was like, maybe I could drum. And as a result, I ended up being the drummer for that band for about 5 years. So last year of middle school all the way out through the 4 years I was in high school, pretty much playing every single day for at least an hour, including Sundays and Saturdays, because we would actually perform at the church that was next door. And so we would perform at that church, we'd practice on Saturday, and we'd perform on Sunday. So those would be like an hour session at a time of practice every single day. We would perform at the chapel at our school or whatever. And so that really kind of drove home the practice without me having to be at home practicing by myself like I always had to with guitar. So I think that's what really drove it home for me. I always liked listening to music and keeping a beat, but when I actually finally got into a band and was playing and practicing with other people, that's what really drove home the kind of ability to stick with it and keep playing. So yeah, that's kind of... Oh, and when did I start drumming? When did I start drumming? That would have been the first one. I started drumming about 8 years ago now, so I've been drumming for about 8 years. Next question comes from Yuki Sahashi. How are you enjoying Spice and Wolf so far? I'm really loving it. I'm really loving that show. In fact, I just wrapped up in the recording session today. I just wrapped up season 1 of Spice and Wolf, and I thought it was amazing. And I actually left a question in an update video I put out earlier today, asking if you guys wanted me to move to Psycho-Pass and put a pause on Spice and Wolf and then come back to it once I finish Psycho-Pass Season 2, or just continue with Spice and Wolf. But yeah, I love it. I love it a lot. Right below that question is a question by Nidia Gonzalez. And that was extremely offensive, I'm sure. How long have you been on YouTube, counting your old channel? Well, plural, my old channels. How long have I been on YouTube? Probably about... no, I graduated in 2012, and I made a YouTube channel. I made a YouTube channel when I was a junior in high school. So yeah, it's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've probably been on YouTube at least 6 years. I started by making these stupid little vlogs that nobody watched way back at the beginning. I did some drum covers that nobody will ever see because they were saved on a computer that no longer exists, and it's a good thing too because they were god-awful. They're probably still buried somewhere on Facebook when I was on Facebook. But yeah, I've been on YouTube for probably about 6 years just doing random stuff, and I finally hit on something that I enjoy doing and that everybody else enjoys seeing me do. So yeah, I was worried for a minute because this next question by Boopy Doopy Doopy Boopy, nice name by the way, says, I'm screaming about Book of Atlantic being subbed soon. What are your expectations? I'm assuming you actually mean subbed and not dubbed. I'm probably not going to watch it until it's dubbed, but as long as it's more like season 1 and Book of Circus and less like season 2, I will be happy, because I feel like if it follows an arc from the manga, like like what Book of Circus did, or the first half of season 1, I think that it will probably be a phenomenal series, and I'm really looking forward to having it being dubbed. In fact, the movie for Steins Gate is being dubbed, so I'm probably going to watch that in dub, just because I went back and I rewatched all of, and this is information you guys didn't ask for, but I went back and watched all of Steins Gate dubbed after seeing it subbed on the channel, and I liked it a bit more. Granted, I'm a dub whore, but I liked it a bit more. So yeah, I'm probably gonna wait until the dubs come out, but I am expecting great things from Book of Atlantic. Next up comes from Sailor Sunshine, and yeah, I get it. When did you learn? Oh, this is actually kind of, I had already talked about this earlier. I don't know why I pointed up, but I had already talked about this earlier. But when did you learn to play guitar? I had played for a while in like late elementary school, early middle school, and I just never could get into it. Like I said, the problem was I had to sit and practice on my own, and I think what's really got me into playing guitar again was the fact that there are a lot of songs that I did learn to play, but they were all electric guitar songs. They all had distortion or some sort of effect to them, and there weren't a lot of electric or a lot of acoustic guitar songs that interested me. And I had a very nice acoustic guitar, don't get me wrong. I loved playing it when I was in the mood. But now that I have an electric guitar, a very nice electric guitar in my opinion, I just love playing that thing all the time now. Plus I can play a bunch of anime songs alongside what I can already play on an electric guitar. So yeah, I think now I'm a little more into it. But to answer your question, I started playing way back, like late elementary, early middle school, and I played for about 2 or 3 years with lessons and just never really got much more into it. Next up, Lord Awesomeness. Awesome name. Where does he work? I assume that you're referring to me. I work at Best Buy. Yeah, I am one of the guys who wears the blue shirt and tries to sell you a credit card and a warranty. No, I work in the Best Buy mobile department, so I activate smartphones. I get to argue with people about how, no, your phone never actually was $200. You were just paying $200 to walk out of the door. That's what a down payment is called. So you put a $200 down payment, and then 2 years later, the company has made up that $600 that your phone costs. If you want a $200 phone, I can go show you one, but they're going to be, garbage. So yes, to answer your question, I am a blue shirt at Best Buy. I activate smartphones for them. Sneaky Dexter asks, couple of questions for the Q&A. I was wondering, did you ever manage to watch Kill la Kill on your own since the reactions didn't work out due to copyrights? That's the first question. And sort of, I started watching a little further and life got in the way. Reading books. I've started reading some more just classic literature. Like right now I'm rereading George Orwell's 1984 after having watched Psycho-Pass, because I'm feeling very Makishima-ish for some reason. Not in the murdery type of way, but like in the book reading kind of way. But I did start watching it. I need to finish it because it's getting really, really good, and I just didn't get a chance to finish it completely. But I did continue further after I had gotten it taken down on my channel. And the other question is, would you mind giving some music advice in a video sometime? Like how to get into guitar/drum play, and what you think might be the best self-teaching courses. Self-teaching courses. I could do that, actually. Though the only thing is where it says like self-teaching, where you say self-teaching courses, you're either taking lessons or you're not. Self-teaching, I have a very different opinion on self-teaching than most, I think, maybe. Self-teaching is very much a, yes, somebody is teaching you, but it's more of a, you figure most of it out on your own. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's correct, but that's just my thought. Like with drumming, I never took a single lesson. I had one guy sit down with me one time and show me how to hold the drumsticks properly after I had made years of, habit of a different way of holding the drumsticks, and he corrected me. But other than that, I had never sat down in a classroom. I had never watched a video on how to play drums, what the proper technique was, or anything like that. And to some degree, that can be detrimental. So self-teaching versus taking a course where you have to follow the instructor, even if you are the one who's kind of watching the video, I feel like that's gonna be better. Because what I ended up doing was I packed on years and years of bad habits that had to be broken once one person showed me the correct technique for holding a drumstick. And after that, I was like, okay, maybe I should look a little more into this. And at that point, I wasn't considering it self-teaching. I was considering it, you know, following instructions. Following instructions is a little different from self-teaching. Like, I will never say I was self-taught guitar. I took lessons for years, and I just never picked up on it. And everything I learned now is following instructions. Drumming, I feel like I was self-taught because I never took a lesson. I just started and had a knack for it. Tommy Molly asks, can you speak any language besides English? Just wondering. Unfortunately, no, I can't. I can understand Spanish to a degree. I can kind of follow a conversation, recognize some key words, and even some words that are a little more complex. So if somebody speaks to me in Spanish, I can understand it. As soon as they say "que" or need me to respond, I'm hosed. Like, I can follow the conversation, but apart from that, I'm slowly trying to kind of get that way with Japanese, which watching subbed shows, believe it or not, is helping a little bit. But yeah, I feel like I'm still pretty far away from being able to follow a conversation in Japanese without subtitles. WWE Anime asks, do you watch wrestling? WWE. Huh, like your name. I don't, actually. I don't watch wrestling. I watched some old wrestling, like just the ridiculousness and, like, you know, the capes and the ridiculous outfits and all that kind of stuff. I did watch like a bit of that, more just for my own entertainment than anything else. And I know that's what wrestling's kind of about, but no, I don't really watch wrestling. And the other question, are you from Baltimore, Maryland? No, thank God I'm not. I'm close enough to Baltimore. I'm about an hour away from Baltimore. A lot of my friends live in Baltimore, but no, I do not live in Baltimore. I am well outside of Baltimore. Far enough that I'm in a different town that is garbage. Another question about the Black Butler movie. This one comes from Madeline Hildebrand, asking, are you excited for the new Black Butler movie? Yes, I am. But again, it's probably going to be a while before, probably it will show up on my channel, but it'll be a while before it shows up on my channel, because once I'm on a dub series, I am dubbed. That's it. So yeah, it's probably going to be a while. Following that, Squirtle Squatty asks, here's a cue for Saturday. I think I remember a long while back you said that you like the Halo series. So if you had to pick, which game would be your favorite? Hands down, Halo 2. Period. Oh, my screen just changed. Hands down, Halo 2. Like, no questions asked. And my reasoning behind Halo 2 is just because it was the most kind of dramatic change to the Halo universe. We had Halo 1, which introduced us to this whole incredible, awesome universe, which I really, really loved playing, and it was the first game that I played on an Xbox, like, original, not the new Xbox One, but like the original. And in fact, I have a Halo 1 Edition Xbox. But Halo 2 is definitely my favorite just because it was so different, it was so well done, the story was so engaging. The first one felt more like you were just a big machine. The second one made it feel more like you were actually involved. So definitely Halo 2. AC Garcia asks, have you watched the Attack on Titan Season 2 trailer? And I have not. I really should. It would make a great reaction video. I'm so far behind on it now, though, it's probably not going to get anybody's attention, but who cares? I'll probably watch it anyway. I need to watch it anyway. So, but no, I have not seen it yet. All right, Full-Time Artist 2 asks, if you got to be in any anime, which would you be in and why? I would love to voice a character in RWBY, but I really don't know how they cast characters. I really don't know. In fact, my plan this summer, I'm planning on going to RTX this summer. And I'm going to go to the RWBY panel, and I essentially want to go up and go up to the Q&A section and just ask if I can voice a character. Hopefully they would say yes. I would love to voice a character in RWBY, but if you guys are out there not counting RWBY as an anime, then I would say Fairy Tail. But Fairy Tail is probably going to be a very, very hard show to actually get into, especially considering that all of my voice acting prowess and all of my previous work is in abridged series. I've never done anything official. So, yeah, that's probably going to be way, way off in the distance. Like, I'm going to have to probably take a long time to actually get anywhere. But in terms of what anime I would prefer to be in, I would love to be in Fairy Tail if you don't count Ruby as an anime. If you do count Ruby as an anime, I would love to be in Ruby as a voice actor. Just any character. Even just a passing character. I would love to be any character in Ruby. All right, and going to the last two questions, which are on Twitter. And I didn't pull up Twitter on my computer because I'm stupid, so I'm going to do it off my phone. Coming from Collusion AI. I've actually been on discussions with him and Architect Cobra and a few others. He's got two questions. The first one is, what kind of anime do you prefer? Romance, comedy, action, etc. I don't really have a preference for anime. I mean, I tend to lean a bit more towards the action anime, though some of the more laid-back stuff, while I won't say that I'm really into the laid-back stuff, it matches my personality to some degree, so I end up kind of clicking with some of the characters more, especially with Spice and Wolf, where there's a bit of action, but it's not because the characters are going and looking for trouble or looking for action. It's because they are just kind of involved with it. So while I may not say that it's my favorite, I do tend to relate more with characters from laid-back animes, but I tend to search out more action-packed animes. So I guess action-packed anime would be my preference if I had to pick one. And next up, he put, have you ever thought about doing more than just reactions on your channel? I see good potential here. Well, I'm glad you see good potential. In fact, I have considered doing other stuff. I have done other stuff, actually. If you watched, I did my, what was it? Not yesterday, the day before, I did my zip tie water cooling with my computer. If you guys haven't seen that, you should definitely watch it. It'll be a link up there, so check it out. And yeah, that was actually a lot of fun to do. It didn't work. Spoilers. Now you don't have to go watch it, but go watch it anyway because it's pretty funny. You get to see me freak out as I try to burn my graphics card. But yeah, I'm planning on doing some other stuff. I really want to get reviews done. I really want to do more reviews, but the problem, like I said, is that when I do these reactions, it takes up most of my time, and then now I have a full-time job, so that doesn't quite work in my favor for time. So, yeah, I just kind of have to figure that out as I go. But to answer your question, yes, I do plan to do other things. I really want to do other things, but it's just a matter of time, man. Time is my worst enemy, and yeah, I guess we'll figure that out once I kind of get the main stuff on my channel sorted. All right, guys, so that was the first return of Q&A Saturday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because I do, obviously, other things, like mainly reaction videos, as I was just saying. I do want to do other things, though. But, yeah, leave a like if you want to. If you have questions for me, leave them in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter. The hashtag didn't really work, so I'm just going to say, if you want to do it on Twitter, use my Twitter handle, @Frodo117. I also post stuff there, so if you want to follow me as well as, tag me, you can do that. But yeah, so tag me on Twitter, ask me questions, leave a comment down below, ask me questions, and I believe that should be everything. So thanks for tuning in for Q&A Saturday. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next Saturday for more questions.